This is the truth, and I believe that we have to really face reality and understand that reality is not a problem, but reality tends to give us a step to solving the problem. So it's more of a solution than a problem. What is the reality? The truth of it is this. The Igbo man or the Igbos are the only remnant of the pure African whole. That is the root of those who call black people or Africans today. I'm not saying that other people that are from different nations or tribes are not Africans. No, they are also Africans. But when I say, because we need to understand what it means to be Igbo and what does the word Igbo means. The word Igbo is derived from the Igbo language, a word that is known as Ndi-Igbo. So with time, it transformed from Ndi-Igbo to Ndi-Igbo. And from Ndi-Igbo, we now have Igbo today, which we say we are Igbos. But originally, it was Ndi-Igbo. Now, anybody that understands or knows the Igbo language will know that Ndi-Igbo means the people of old, the ancient people. So that means it's still talking about the root of the man you refer to today as the black man or the African man. Our root is rooted in Igbo land, Igbo culture, and Igbo language, Igbo interpretation. Now, I've traveled around the world, and I've sat down with people that have like minds who are also trying to define who we are here on the planet Earth, because we've seen ourselves being discriminated, insulted, harassed, and then we see ourselves as being invaded by those who are not supposed to invade us. Now, there is a problem somewhere, so many of us have gone into research to find out actually where we come from, who we are, and what is it that these people are covering, because there is something that is not right. You will feel it, you will sense it that something is amiss, and that the people who are supposed to be giving you information are covering something, and so there is a reason for it. So there are a lot of people who have actually, not just only me, have really, digged deep into certain materials to come up with so many things. And I have sat down with so many of these people and I have talked with them. Now, there are some people that will tell you that civilization started from somewhere around Kenya. Now, if you look at it, it's not far from true, because we are still talking about the same ancient people. Now, that over time, that language begin to change, and then causes or beliefs or culture begin to transform people into a certain set of people, does not mean that there wasn't a time that we have a common ancestry. We have common ancestors. I mean, we have common root. Now, but there is something about the Igbo man, because we know that from the beginning that everybody that was created, that was formed on top of this planet Earth, that they were only just people of this same color. There was nothing like white, yellow, blue, black. They were people of this same color that have the color of the earth. But we know that even in the midst of those that have the color of the earth, they had children that had, I wouldn't say it wasn't a problem, but it's because some certain things were missing in their own body. So they become what we call today albinos, because their body does not have what it takes to resist the hotness of the sun and things like that. And many of them were in certain society, we are being maltreated. People, it's normal when, for example, today now people see a fat child and they can't stop calling the child fat or whatever. So once there is something that makes you different, people will tend to make jest of it. I mean, it becomes a mockery, and not everybody can take it. So certain society became hostile to this particular brothers and sisters who had this problem in their skin, and most of them had to leave those societies. Not all the societies, they have to leave those societies to migrate and move to a different place and where they can find a little peace and maybe start life, or they moved because of the temperature or the weather and moved to a cooler place. So we know that because of this, people began to expand. I don't want to go into the history of how the world expanded or how we have different races or whatever. But what I want to focus on is for us to understand why I'm talking to Ndebo, and why it is important for an average African man to understand that his deliverance, his salvation depends on how well the Igbos find their feet. Because the Igbos need to find their feet before the Africans can find their place. It is interwoven. And that is why the West is fighting and battling to make sure that the Igbos remain oppressed. Now, having said this, I want you to understand something. But we have a problem. The major problem we have is not even the West oppressing us or stopping us from finding our feet. The major problem we have is that the Igbo community, except very few, when I say few, I'm talking about less than 1%. The Igbo community, or the Igbo nation, which include the whole Igbo tribes, their sons and daughters has been brainwashed in one way or the other. So when you call them to table, they are either coming with a Christian mindset, or the mindset of Aroshi, or the mindset of Muslim. Even now, there is a sect that comes with a Jew. These people that practice Judaism, they come with this Judaism mindset. Now, when you sit at the table, you will be talking something. You want to present the truth. Because of this, their mind has been conditioned to think Christian. Their mind has been conditioned to think Islamic. Their mind has been conditioned to think Judaism. You see that he will not understand the truth unless you come from that biblical perspective or Quranic perspective, or you come from the Aroshi concept. Then you now see him or her trying to understand. But these things are concepts that are being drawn from the same Igbo culture that you are neglecting. Both the scriptures are written according to our lifestyle, because we have contact, we have connection, and we have direct link with divinity. Everything that they are teaching you today is what they learned from our own people, and that is why they are teaching you. That is why it's easy for an Igbo man to identify himself with any religion at all, because we are the custodians, we are the foundation of every religion that you can think of. So when they come to you with this Aroshi stuff or images, these are things that it was the corruption that our people fell into at the early stage before the Christians came and corrupted them more. And today they are going deeper into this corruption, because now the battle they are having now, the problem they are having now is that many of them who say they are awakened have now embraced Judaism, which is even worse than Christianity, which is even worse than Aroshi. Yes, we serve one God. That their religion sounds like what the life we have or the life our forefathers had does not mean that it's the same. You have to really research well. You have to really, investigate well before you embrace any religion that is given to you. Because we are not religious people. We are people that have direct link, direct relationship with the Creator. We are created to be gods, representing Him here on earth. And the word God, by the way, is supposed to be a judge, one that makes decisions and then executes it, that has the authority to decide what happens and when it happens. And this is what has been given to us. But we've thrown them away because we've embraced Christianity. We've thrown them away because we are embracing so many religions, because we are still looking for a way to get close to the Almighty. When we ourselves have that contact, we don't need to look for a way. We are the way ourselves. He created us so that others through us, can have access to Him. Now we are running to those people so that we can, from those people again, they will not teach us the way. Why should somebody teach you a way? Something you are. You are going to somebody to identify who you are. So this is the major problem we're having. Now I'm talking to you Igbos. I want you to come to the table with an open mind. It doesn't matter what you've been taught. It doesn't matter what you think you know. come to the table with an open mind, you will understand that you have this thing, that what you are seeking for is already seeking for you because it's in you. This is the problem. This is the area we have problem because our people their mind has been conditioned in one way or the other. And unless you come from that angle or from that perspective, they will not see reasons with you. They will not blend with you. They will not understand you. And that is why even in the scripture, in the Bible that you people are carrying, you still read it, you don't understand. They said, they know not, neither will they understand. And that is the issue. You cannot understand as long as your whole mind is conditioned to think in a particular direction. And once you are thinking in that particular direction, you will not come up with a fact or with a real conclusion because you will still be coming up with conclusions based on what you've been told, that somebody told you that, or that you read it in a book produced by the same people you are calling invaders, does not mean that it is true. And why should you even for once believe anything they wrote? So you think they will write something to something that will help you become awake? Then you must be out of your senses. A man that has heard you pan, that wants to keep you down, how can he write something and that thing will help you to discover who you are? I've never heard that before. Somebody that cheated you, he will not give you a clue to make you understand that he has cheated you. It doesn't work that way. Common sense will tell you that he won't do that. So we need to understand where we are at the moment, that we are surrounded by those that does not want us to know the truth. So any book they published or read or they themselves wrote themselves is not supposed to be something we can touch. No, it's not supposed to be something that we should even think of or look at. That is why the whole proofs, the sculptures, the images that our forefathers have left for us, everything they dropped us, our culture, our timing, our date. Now somebody sent me a calendar, and the same calendar is running concurrently with the Roman calendar. I don't know what is wrong with our people. Anything that looks like what they have cannot be original, cannot be real. We know we have our calendar, we have our own date, we have our days. It is not supposed. If it's the same with their own, then why is it that what is the manipulation there? Everything they gave you that looks like their own is part of the deception, and our people need to understand that. We need to understand that there is a great awakening. We can only wake if we understand that the awakening is for us to redress. When they say about turn, you don't turn to left or you don't turn to right. You make a U-turn. You face the opposite direction. When you turn to left, it is not about turn. When you turn to right, it's not. You have to make a complete U-turn. And that is what we are supposed to do, not to look at left. You say, but they left something, there was something they left. How do you know that those ones they left, that those ones are good and the other ones are bad? We have to keep everything they have kept and go on with what our fathers have left for us. They gave us a blueprint. I have told you people, the Eke Nkwo Afo Orie concept is something that you really need to think deep. This is where they get the science they are teaching you from. This is where they got the whole scriptures they wrote, the religion stuff they taught you from. Because they understand this concept. And if I open, for those of you who are Christians, because yes, I read the Bible and I've read it and I keep reading it. Now, if I open these scriptures and show you some things, and then tell you to compare it with certain Igbo concepts, you will marvel that these things are nothing but a renamed, the same version but renamed in a different way, and then you think it's something new. I don't want to go into details, but I want my brothers and sisters who are both, whether you understand the Igbo language or not, I want us to come to the table with an open mind. Forget about what you belong or what religion you think you are. No religion is the best religion. All of them are the same. The only thing is that you need to understand yourself. And the day you know who you are, you will understand who your creator is. And then that is the day you begin to do exploit. If not, if you keep jumping around this religion issue, religion concept, you will still be where you are. You've been doing it for 5 years, nothing has changed, and you keep doing it. So can't you just reason and understand that it won't lead you to anywhere? Neither will it bring any change. It will rather create more confusion. So let us think.